Elections are now over. Congratulations, President William Samoei Ruto. You must be a happy man, and many are happy with you. In particular, I'm sure your mother must be a happy lady, seeing the son achieve what you have achieved, measuring it against the odds you went through. Congratulations. As we congratulate you and await your inauguration on Tuesday, we will also need to remind you, humbly as citizens, loyal and supportive, that the job has just started. We shall, in due course, be talking about what we think the new government ought to do, the things we think the new government ought to avoid. But on the onset, from my own observations, as we congratulate you for the feat, for this great achievement, we must also make observations about what we are seeing. That there is a temptation to let power drive you into certain directions. As a citizen who loves this country, who now supports you as my president, I will advise that we reduce the speed in the direction that I consider is an affront on democracy. Power attracts. Every politician, every man and woman will want to trip over themselves, fall over themselves, bend backwards to come to you. Receive them with open arms, but do not destroy the opposition. Let's not get excited about receiving politicians from the other side. I've seen a tweet from Donald Kipkoril, a lawyer friend, who is saying many of the governors who have done their 2 terms will be trooping to you, Your Excellency. Many of them will be doing so according to Donald, and I think he's right, because they have a past they want to run away from. Some of them are thieves ambao wamepora kaunti zao. Receive them with open hands, but let them know that coming to you will not save them if they have stolen and plundered public resources. So my observation is, if we are not careful, Your Excellency, we could be moving to very dangerous territories where every politician will troop to you, especially those with a past they want to protect. Receive them, but let them not think by coming to you they will be saved from prosecution if they have stolen. On your part, Your Excellency, don't go out to destroy the opposition. You need the opposition. This country needs opposition. Don't go out of your way. Again, Your Excellency, in these early stages, I'm beginning to note a pattern that may not be good. Because power is power. When you get power in circumstances such as ours today, when there is almost no opposition, when you have Senate and you have National Assembly and everybody else in between, power could easily get your head. Avoid that. Avoid that. For example, I've heard Your Excellency saying you want to reintroduce CDF in one way or the other. Many people, including me, have argued that one of the reasons why our parliamentarians are not doing their work, it is because we have turned MPs into managers, which is quite unconstitutional. MPs give government the power to raise money. Once government has money, the executive spends that money with the eye of the legislature. Oversight. You cannot be part of the oversight at the same time you are the executive. So CDF was an anomaly we must deal with. And I'm happy the Supreme Court has acted with that with finality and is in the interest of the country. Let MPs do legislative work. Let them not be part of spending money. So avoid going in those directions. They may be populist, Your Excellency. Populism may be dangerous to a country. I've also had the issue of ministers coming to parliament. That is outright unconstitutional. That sort of change cannot be implemented even by an act of parliament. It's sort of thing that goes to the structure of government, which must be settled in a referendum. Let us avoid again, because we are running away from, we are trying to avoid a past where the government has been intransigent, where the government has disobeyed court orders, where the government has refused to do that which the Constitution demands of them. Let's not go in that direction. Your Excellency, you have support, overwhelming support of the country. And I dare say goodwill. In these initial stages, something else I will observe. I know people rarely tell people the truth. That one of the tasks ahead is to unite the country. This is more important because, and urgent, because if you look at the difference between you and your competitor, razor thin, which means there are half who voted for you, half who didn't vote for you. And what is worse, another 7 million didn't vote. So out of 10 Kenyans, you perhaps have 3 point something Kenyans supporting you by way of election. So that means there's an urgency to bring the country together. And I think this government, more than any other government, has a responsibility, an historical responsibility, to unite the country. To make every Kenyan feel they are part of this country. Jomo Kenyatta failed to do that. He left when the country was feeling this country belonged to Kikuyus. Daniel Arap Moi came. He did better than Jomo Kenyatta. But still, the feeling that this country belonged to all of us was never there. I remember an editorial, I think in the finance magazine of Gatabaki or something, where he listed the big jobs in the country were occupied by the Kalenjin. In the recent past, there has been the same listing where people have been asking, who is, and all of them were Kikuyu. Kibaki didn't do much. He started well with Raila Odinga and the rest, but again he lapsed into the same. The challenge today in this country, more than ever before, is to make sure the country is united. There's no better way of doing that than ensuring that Kenyans, from wherever they are, even those who are hurting, those who are not feeling happy, those who are annoyed, those who feel they don't belong to this country, those who strongly feel that this election was stolen, those who hate the Supreme Court, including all those. Those who have given up. That includes those who are saying they will never vote. Bring them together. Bring them together. And I posit that there's no better way of doing that than forming a government that brings the country together. A cabinet that sends a signal, a message that this country is together. And while you are forming that kind of government, don't employ tokenism. Because I've seen people, you go in a community and pick somebody, some peripheral person, and say now the Luos are in this government. You go and pick some cartoon, make them minister and say the Luyas are in this government. I don't mean that. I mean really inclusion of really people, representing really people and really communities. Secondly, we must learn to move away from a past where in sharing government, the people in power take all the plum positions and then distribute the rest to the rest of the country. That will be a good starting point. And in fact, if you went in that direction, what seems today to be an impossible task of uniting this country, because we have a country where half of the population is hurting in a way that may be dangerous for sustainable peace. A country that has so many flashpoints like ours should not be encouraged to have many of its population, many of its people hurting inside. They must be brought on board, made to feel they are part of this government. In coming days, like I've said, we shall look at things in detail, things that I believe some of us who love this country should be able to share with you, Your Excellency, as you move forward in governing, helping the people of this country walk out of where they are in terms of suffering, but more particularly, uniting the country. So once again, Your Excellency, President William Samoei Ruto, congratulations. We mean it. It is risen from our head. It is from the under our breast in our hearts. And while at it, we remind you, Your Excellency, of Winston Churchill, that in victory be magnanimous. Once you do that, your foot soldiers will take cue from you. The sort of wars I'm seeing continuing in the public space, or people saying, we told you, kunja mkia wewe, useless wewe, you thought you shall not make it. That must be behind us. Because we have a country to move forward. We have families that are hurting economically. We have families that need health care. We have children that need to go to school and be fed. In an environment of economic hardships, this country cannot afford to dwell on petty issues of who said what during elections. Lead the way, Your Excellency, so that those who are with you, who are on your side, can see it is time to move forward as a country. And not to blame who, not to point out who didn't support us. That is the way to go. And congratulations as we await your inauguration on Tuesday.